Have you ever wanted to improve your dancing, win more competitions, get higher roles in tryouts? Well, this video will help you with that. Here are several tips that will effectively improve your dance skills. But before we start this video, I'd like to thank all my supporters for enjoying my content. You guys mean a lot and it gives me motivation to keep posting content for you guys. Anyways, let's get on with the video. Number 1. Creativeness. When creating dances, it's best to think creatively, especially at competitions. The judge look for creative dances that aren't used all the time. For example, if someone does Cry and someone else does Cleopatra, Cleopatra would be more creative, since majority of people know and do the Cry solo. This also makes you think about costumes, choreography, and song choice, which are all things that you are usually scored for at competitions. Number 2. Connecting your moves makes your dance smoother and not so rushed or messy. In advance, you get scored higher, and connecting moves can also help for when you are choreographing, trying out, and so on. Connecting also helps you with experience, so that you know if a dance looks right or wrong. Overall, connecting moves is a good way to improve your dance skill and show that you know what you're doing. Number 3. Movement. Movement is an important part, especially when trying out for things. For example, moving along with your moves is better than freely moving around. Here's an example. See how I moved too much in the beginning, instead of waiting for the spin to be over? Now let's look at a better example. See how I waited instead of rushing across the stage? This also helps with utilizing your space and not moving in such big gaps. Number 4. Unique choreography. This is a big part, especially for competition or trying out for a certain role. For unique choreography, try to be creative, original, and different from other people. What I mean by different is, use different connections, combos, dance style, and moves. Try to avoid using dance packs, common connections, and reusing the same moves. Here's an example of a common connection versus a unique connection. Notice how the first connection are to moves that would likely be put together, rather than the second connection that is most likely not to be used and it still goes good together. Dance packs as well. Using dance packs shows lack of skill and creativity. They can also be easily identified, especially if they are popular ones people have used before. This can lead to lower scores, not choosing you for roles, or not placing high at competitions. Number 5. Avoiding pausing and backpack errors. When doing a dance, pausing is a common error that leads to not scoring high or your dance looking sloppy. If you have trouble not pausing, especially when you are also backpacking, you can try this. Try using longer moves that give you time to click on the next move and where you're going to move on stage. Here's an example. See how I paused before I got to the next move, because that move was too short. Let's look at a better example. See how I was able to use a longer move, so that I had time to move to my backpack? If you don't struggle with this, another tip is to slow down when you're dancing. If you're rushing into moves and moving around a lot, you could lose your focus and end up pausing. Here's another example, but with tumbling. Personally, tumbling is my favorite thing to do while performing because a lot of advanced dancers use it and it also shows your skill. But it leaves a lot more room for error, and it makes your dance harder to do, especially when you're new to it. Here's an example of what tumbling looks like on time and tumbling off timing. As you can see, my tumbling matches up with the time I was in the air, and when I was back on the ground again. Here's an example of what late tumbling is. See how my move was already over before I got a chance to go up in the air? This should be highly avoided because it makes you look inexperienced with tumbling, especially with all the lateness and pausing. Number 6. Extras. Using extra spins and leaps for parts in your dance is little, but it can be very effective. Here's an example of a basic move made a little more improved. Now let's add a 360. From my point of view, it looks complicated, but when you watch it from a different perspective, it looks really good. Lastly, number 7. Disliked moves. Try to avoid using moves that you see people have a negative view on, especially judges or hosts. By doing this, you can avoid them from thinking, "Oh, I don't like that move," and so on. I'm not telling you to change your opinion on it so that others like it. It's just advised you do this so you get better outcomes. That brings us to the end of the video. These are tips I advise using if you want to improve in Aura and become a better dancer. Thank you guys so much for watching. Consider liking and subscribing if you would like to see more tutorials and Aura content. And that concludes this video.